want everyone to know they went peacefully. They were taken off life support at 2:12 p.m. Pacific.
Uh-huh.
It was the right thing to do, considering the way that they were
suffering.
They were suffering. And when you allow big inning after big inning in Milwaukee, and you can't come through with big hit consistently, and you fall a season high 9 games under 500 with 31 games to play, it was the right thing to do. Now, with all that being said, they're still going to play 31 games, even though it's done.
Have to.
They're finished. They were taken off life support. And we look ahead now to 2024. It is the wrap-up show with John and Jim. We're with you on a Sunday night, recapping a really awful, pathetic, I don't know if embarrassing is the right word. It was just
lifeless, gutless, heartless, embarrassing.
No, but it wasn't. It was it wasn't all of it. It was at one point or another, it was all of it. They actually showed life occasionally, only to then not show any life and give up huge inning after huge inning. How about the 7th inning today, where they score, they load the bases, they pulled it within 9-6, they have first and third, and they don't score again for the heart of their order, which is essentially the story of their season. Anyway, if you're here, subscribe. Year-round content for Padres fans. Here's what we're going to do since the Padres were taking off life support. They were wearing some friendship bracelets. The Padres were. So if you want these...
They're friends? Because I would beg to differ.
If you want these friendship bracelets, all you have to do is click the link in the description down below or the link that's pinned in the top of the chat. Subscribe to our brand new John and Jim YouTube channel and put the word subbed in the chat. Once you've subscribed to the brand new channel, put subbed in the chat. Someone is winning both of these tonight, Jim. One of them says, I love the Padres. Machado, heart 13. Tatis Jr., heart 23. The other says, I love the Padres, bring the golf. It actually says bring the gold. And I love Fryer. If you want these FOCO bracelets, subscribe.
And if you already subbed, just write sub in the chat.
Write subbed in the chat if you've already subscribed, to your point. Anyway, if you're here, subscribe to this channel. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter. At John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the supers. We'll get to every single super tonight. It's been a tough year. So we want to hear from you if you want to vent. We do appreciate it. Click the $ below the chat box. Today, just another example of everything that can go wrong, will go wrong. Padres lose in Milwaukee 10-6. And that's all she wrote. Swept in Milwaukee, on their way to St. Louis. They have 31 games to play, but 2024 is on my mind right now.
The image of, there was 2 images of this weekend that I will associate to the 2023 Padres. One was an image, one was a video. It was a moment.
I know the video.
Can you guess what the 2 moments were?
Well, the video is whoever was saying F San Diego.
Nope.
The video is Machado taking out his frustration on a water cooler. Someone had a great comment, Jim, like 30 minutes ago when I set up the video saying, would he have hit the water cooler if there were men in scoring position? That's freaking funny.
And a shout out to the Polaroid camera for surviving, because I mean, when Machado threw his helmet, that thing, it flew, it levitated. And so shout out to the Polaroid for surviving.
Well, they can buy another one. And by the way, they don't need to buy another one this year. They can just like Joe Musgrove, you can come back in 2024, Polaroid.
Yeah, no one's making a Polaroid book for the 2023 Padres.
No, geez, and
they're not selling them at the team store for $75 either.
No, you can't give them away.
So the 2 that is one is Machado, and taking his frustration out on the water cooler and throwing his helmet, and then the second one is, I mean, Jake Cronenworth with the largest cast I've ever seen on his arm, standing at the top of the dugout. Yeah, for a wrist.
What was that about? I mean, I guess they really needed to like immobilize that.
Dude's cast is like up, down, up to here. Like, geez, okay. I didn't realize that you needed to put that big of a cast on for a broken wrist.
Was it a joke or serious when he's like, I'll be ready for the NLDS? Was that a quote from Jay Cronenworth, or was that something I saw on Twitter? Was there an actual quote from Jay Cronenworth, I'll be ready for the NLDS?
There's an actual quote. I listened to it of him.
No,
listen.
Okay.
What he said was not, I'll be ready for the NLDS. He said, hopefully, hopefully I'll be ready if we make the postseason.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll be on Air Force One when I'm elected. Whatever. I don't want to be president, but you get my point. I mean, yeah. Hopefully, I put on 23 pounds of muscle this year.
And I think I did not listen to much of the broadcast this weekend, but I think it was also relayed from maybe Mud that Cronenworth said that to him. I don't.
Said to who? Oh my God! By the way, you glitched when you sneezed. Are you even real? You had like a Matrix moment.
Yeah, I'm real. I'm real as ever, bro. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I mean, this season has been a fucking disaster to the highest of levels. And this weekend in Milwaukee, they went 1 for 23 with runners in scoring position this weekend. They went 0 for 12
was that this
today.
weekend or the last 2 games?
No, they went 0 for 12 today. They went 1 for 5 yesterday. They went 0 for 6 on Friday.
Okay. So it's not great.
They went 1 for 23.
Better than 0 for 23.
And I mean, look, great. You had little moments and chances and blah, 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 blah. Like, you guys
did actually.
Cool. You quit. I mean, they're done. They're completely done. It is over. Bob Melvin said so as much today in the postgame when he, said verbatim, like, there's no point even looking at the standings anymore because we're not even close. So why the fuck even bother with scoreboard watching? It doesn't even matter because we suck. He didn't say those words, but that was the sentiment.
What if he said that?
Melvin. That'd be funny.
Okay, wait. Fangraphs playoff odds. Okay.
Yeah.
Want to take a stab?
I already saw it. It's like 3%.
No, it's gone down.
Gone down from 3%?
Yeah. With each game that ends, they're closer to the finish line.
Because I think the Giants won tonight. That's right. Yeah. What is it?
2.4.
Okay, it's close.
Which seems very high. You're telling me there's a 1 in 50 or 1 in 48 chance the Padres making the postseason. On what planet? Not Earth. Not with this team. If Fangraphs has been watching, there's no way this team is reaching the postseason. No. That's abundantly clear. Yeah. A couple of things. A couple of things we need to get to. You got to be overly. First of all, we didn't even get to the first super because you pulled it down, dude. All right, Styles Clash 619. Thank you. Before you pull down a super, make sure we get to it. Otherwise, I could forget.
We weren't getting to it. We're talking about other things.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't take it down. Styles Clash 619. Thank you for the super. Okay, we're doing this for our viewers, not for Bob Melvin. He says Preller's going to trade Salas for Alonso, isn't he? Probably not. Would be my guess.
Free agent.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Salas will not be traded. There's one thing I can kind of assure you. Ethan Salas will not be traded because there's no reason to do that. So that's one thing they got right. Drafted Ethan Salas. Or no, they didn't. They signed him, but we'll see if that works out. Thank you, Styles Clash 619. Let me get to this from Richard Flores as well. With the very generous super, he always starts it by saying he's a Dodger fan. Thank you, Richard, for your support of the channel. He says, Dodger fan here. Felt the season was over when Joe Kelly went up and in on Tatis and not one Padre had his back. Fair point. Crickets. Your closer has no business wearing a San Diego uniform, refusing to pitch when it's inconvenient for him. Joke. Just a couple of things. Since the meme that everyone's like, whatever, they are like one of the worst 5 teams in baseball since the meme. So just to be clear, I mean, they're the 8th worst team in baseball overall, but since the meme, they're 12 games under 500.
Well,
so they're one of the 5 worst teams in baseball.
I'm not blaming them.
No, but I'm giving you a point of the season.
Okay.
And I'll give you another point. Since the Dodgers series, and they got to 55 and 56, they've been one of the worst teams in baseball, like bottom 3, since they got to 55 and 56. So I'm just saying, right. 2 series against the Dodgers at home completely changed your season again. Mm-hmm. And that's just a fact.
The Dodgers fucking wrecked this team. Okay, cool. Oh, you think you're hot shit now because you beat us in the playoffs? Yeah, another thing's coming to you. You're still little brother. That's how the Dodgers have treated the Padres this year, and that's how they'll continue to treat the Padres for the foreseeable future. I don't see it changing. Last postseason was great, but hey, sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good. And, last year is looking like this massive, massive outlier to what is the real team, which is bunch of frauds, frankly.
And I will say this though, like about the closer won't pitch. Of all the issues, this is where sometimes we get we go down the wrong path. Issue number 199 is Hader's availability this year. Guy's got a sub-1 ERA, I think, still. And so what? So he pitches 3 outs. Is that why they're where they are? Josh Hader, give me a break.
He didn't pitch, dude. And
when he does pitch, have a lead in the 9th inning.
And when he does pitch, he has a .82 ERA.
Okay, so he's not the problem. I'm sorry.
No, and
by the way, if I was Hader, I'd go into Melvin or Preller in September and say, "Don't use me. Be real light on me. I'm going to free agency. I could care less about this team." That's what I would say privately.
No, it's over. I mean, how many more ways can I say this? I don't speak any other languages, but if I did, I would say it's over in every single language in the dictionary possible.
Mm-hmm. Who's saying it's not over?
No, I'm just saying for Hader and for anybody else, shut it down. Machado, apparently he is more injured than we thought. Shut it down. Okay. Soto, shut it down. This is over. Why? I am so pissed that we have to watch and talk about these last 30 fucking games of the year. Give me a break. There's no point to the season anymore. This is now easily the most meaningless September. I mean, well,
since 2019.
2021, but
no, not 2021. They were in it to start September in 2021. I mean, the wheels were falling off, but they were in it. If we looked at September 1st, I bet they were in it.
2019. So since 2019, another meaningless September. This is not a collapse. Don't let anybody tell you this is a collapse, because they never were in it to begin with. I mean, this team was never in it. Think about that, John. From day one, they shit the bed. From day one.
They 18 and 15 was when they were in it.
And that's not even anything special.
No, it's not.
Especially for a team that's assembled of a payroll of $250 million.
Dude, how about
the best mark of your season was 18 and 15? Give me a fucking break.
Listen to this. Heading into September of 2021, they were 72 and 62.
That's not even okay.
No, that's really good compared
to what they are now.
They were in playoff positioning heading into September of 2021. Now, again, the wheels completely fell off and they were horrific, but I'd rather be in that spot. I'd rather the wheels fall off in September than the wheels be off all year.
All year long. This is an all year thing. I'm not joking. Can you remember a time this year, John, where we've had a great stretch here on the wrap-up show of high marks?
Well, it didn't happen because they didn't win 4 in a row. I thought 55 and 56, beating the Dodgers and come from behind fashion. I was at Barbie. Felt like a high water mark.
You ruined it. You went to Barbie.
Maybe. And it felt like that was the moment where if they were going to do it, they were going to do it there. And from that point on, they have been awful because they are now 61 and 70. So they are 6 and 14 in their last 20 games. Like you said, kind of thanks Dodgers. Jeffrey, thank you. Jeffrey Jackson, appreciate the super, guys. If you're here, subscribe. If you are here, please subscribe to our brand new John and Jim channel. If you do that, put subbed in the chat. We'll pick a winner tonight to win these friendship bracelets. Nothing says the Padres being awful like these friendship bracelets from Foco. Well, that's a winner here today. Make sure to subscribe to our brand new John and Jim channel by clicking the link in the description down below or the link that's pinned in the top of the chat. We'll pick a winner tonight. Jeffrey Jackson says, one day we'll win a World Series, right? I mean, I'm not going to go sell a fake bill of goods. It could take a while. I mean, I know they're invested, but they're not invested properly right now. They have real fundamental issues that are not going to be solved overnight.
Top to bottom. I obviously anybody could be wrong with any take that you have, but it feels like, last year is potentially a flash in the pan. And is that good enough? To some people it might be, but frankly, it's to me not, because one NLCS trip in a 10-year span with a GM here just isn't good enough at all. It's just not. I put in the chat, and I'm sure that you've all seen it by now. Do you want to see AJ Preller fired? I mean, I wasn't. I'm waiting until it's officially like 0.000.
But like, you're putting it in the chat. You're putting it in the chat.
It's
you just do it. It's the gym way.
Yeah. I mean, come on, give me a break, dude. This team, from top to bottom, like you said, John, is a failure. And from top to bottom, there needs to be some big time changes, because this should not be allowed when you fail this miserably. It's not like it's not like they went to the postseason and lost in the wild card round. You know, we would dub that a failure of a season in itself after making the NLCS last year and signing Bogarts and having a payroll of $250+ million. We would consider that to be a failure. They're not even going to finish above 500. I mean, full stop, end of story, end of discussion. Everybody's got to go. Like, you can't have that happen. You can't belly up this badly after paying the money that you have paid to this franchise and to this roster to fail as miserably as you have.
I'm not going to go as hard as you calling for everyone's job like you just did. They were in the NLCS last year. You say they made the NLCS one time in 10 years. He's truthfully been the GM for 9 years, and he's been in the postseason 2 times. Again, it's not good. This is his 9th season. We don't know what the future holds. Just because they've been bad in 2023, I've said this before, doesn't mean they'll be bad in 2024, regardless of general manager. I have no clue if they'll be good or bad in 2024. But I am not yet at a point where I will call for – I'm going to tell you it's been a failure top to bottom. That's fair. But I am not at a point where I'm going to say that they need to make entire wholesale complete changes for 2024, because I haven't yet thought it fully through. And we'll see what happens once the season ends and we hear from the owner, Peter Seidler. But I will say this, and I've said it, I wouldn't, while I'd be shocked if Peter Seidler pulled the trigger on AJ Preller, I'd be less and less shocked with each passing day if this team continues to play the way they're playing. That's what I would say. But I'm not going to call for his job at this point based on this complete disaster of a season.
I am.
No, I know you are. That's why I said what I wanted to say.
I mean, I look at the disaster of 2015. I look at 4 years of rebuild to accommodate to what? I look at 4 different managers. I look at a collapse in 2021. I look at a failure of 2023.
They've never won a division. I know. We know.
There are so much here, and I know that they want to build this as the run, and AJ Preller and his reign of excellence didn't start until 2020. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit, because he was here since 2015. So, you know, it's not about it's about his tenure as general manager. Has he been able to build a team that is, you know, consistently year in and year out competing for a playoff spot, and teams that are potentially competing for a World Series? And the answer to that is a resounding no. And not only that, he's basically been given a blank checkbook to go out and build a roster with all of the resources that any GM would love to have.
Well, not those first 4 years. If you looked at the Padres payroll in 2015, 16, 17, 18, it would be bottom half of baseball.
It has increased every single year
under Peter Seidler.
2018.
Okay.
Since 2018, when they signed Eric Hosmer, the payroll has increased every single year.
Yeah, but if you looked at their payroll, this wasn't a blank check payroll in 2018.
John, $250 million, bro.
That's 2023, Jim. It was nowhere near that in 2018. Not even close.
No, you're right. But what I'm saying is every single year. And I'm just talking about this year with 2023. You got a blank checkbook this season, and you fucked it up. Since 2018. So did the Mets. Okay, well, the Mets.
So do the Cardinals.
Steve Cohen runs laps around Peter Seidler as far as money.
Cardinals are spending.
Cardinals are. You want to compare the Cardinals organization to the Padres organization?
That's not what I'm doing. You said this season's a failure. Guess who went further than the Mets last year? The Padres. Guess who went further than the Cardinals last year? The Padres.
Right. Yeah. And who do you have more faith in to turn around their organizations?
I'm just giving you facts.
And I'm giving you facts too.
You're giving me opinion. JP Jazzman, thank you.
Okay, fine. You want to go facts route? You can go facts route, but the opinion is very valid. AJ Preller has fucked up this franchise.
JP Jasmine 2020. Thank you. With all the blown leads, do you think that has caused a rift between pitchers and everyday players? No, I honestly do not. No, I don't think any hitter on this team could put anything on the pitchers. If anything, the rift would be the pitchers mad at the hitters for their inability to hit. This team's hit like 200 August. They've hit like 200th minute scoring position all year. You can't put this thing on the pitching. They still have like a top 5 ERA or top 7 ERA in baseball, even despite this series. So no, I don't think there's a rift between pitchers and hitters. I just think there's a rift.
The clubhouse is a disaster. From day one, it's been a disaster. And it's so you got egos in there that think they should be the one, and Manny's the one, and it has ruined this entire dynamic. For if they want to tell you it hasn't, they're lying to your face, because we see it every day. Okay, go back to spring training. You got Bogarts complaining about where he's sitting in the lineup. You got Manny pretty much putting this franchise under hostage for opting out and waiting until Peter Seidler caved in and gave him exactly what he wanted. You got Soto here, who, I mean, just like playing it out before he gets to free agency. And Tatis is coming off a suspension when he probably comes in here and is potentially the best player and had, all the talent in the world. And they don't mix. They don't mix at all. It's been a disaster from the beginning. You got guys like Blake Snell worrying about his ERA. You got Xander telling everybody that the Nationals suck and they should beat these guys. Well, guess what? The Nationals have a better record than you guys, since you said the Nationals sucked and the pitcher that you faced shoved against you. And he said it was just another guy. So up and down, this clubhouse is a fucking joke. I'm mad tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it is reasonable and fair. I think some of it is probably unreasonable and fair. Like the whole Manny Machado contract thing, I think is unreasonable and unfair, considering everyone and their mother, media, fan, whomever was on board with it. And even after a bad year for Manny Machado, I'm unwilling to say he's going to have a bad 2024 or 2025. I think he's still capable of helping this team win. Yeah, it's been a disaster of a year, but that goes across the board. Like we said, top down. So as Manny likes to say, it's baseball. So maybe it changes in 2024. I mean, the idea that they sign Manny Machado and that makes AJ Preller a bad GM is kind of crazy.
Oh no, there's a million other things that he's done that makes him a bad GM. Not signing Manny Machado. I'm not saying that's the reason why.
All right.
I mean, the way that he has built a roster, the way that he has drafted and developed players, the way that he has pushed players through the organization faster than they should be going through an organization, it is just not trading players at the deadline when you know that this team isn't going anywhere to get, something back for them. That's why he's a failure as a GM.
I think this is spot on, Jeffrey. Thank you for the super. I agree. A lot of blame is on AJ, as I do, but we were all hyped at the beginning of the season. It's easy to complain in retrospect. I think it's spot on, because I don't recall at the end of last year, when they were in the National League Championship Series, most of the blame at the end of the last year was not on the general manager for not getting past that round. It was actually on the coaching staff and Bob Melvin. Now you fast forward a year, and this has been an abject failure of a year. But heading into the year, and it wasn't just media, it wasn't just rah-rah types, it was analytical types, it was sites, it was FanGraphs, it was everything was behind the Padres. So for whatever reason, this didn't work out, and we can all theorize. Nobody knows exactly what happened. Nobody has any clue exactly what happened. But with the expanded postseason and the 3 wild cards, the idea that just because they sucked in 2023 and this thing has been a complete and utter failure, they're going to suck again in 2024, no matter who is GM, including AJ Preller. To me, I don't buy. That's my point. That's my point.
Yeah, and I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. I said, and look, yes, Jeffrey, of course, everybody was hyped. We were all, fooled. Okay, we were all build this team as. I mean, and to be honest, like, what else were we supposed to think? Like, you go to the NLCS, you add Fernando Tatis Jr. and Xander Bogaerts.
I agree.
to the roster, which was pretty much intact. Like you're losing a couple pieces here and there, and you can't tell me that Jorge Alfaro and Jerks and Profar were the reasons. Like, like, give me stop it. And so, like, what were we supposed to think? Like when someone tells me that, oh, now you're an idiot for thinking that. Like, are you? Then you have to literally tell the entire baseball world, apart from a couple people, right, that they're all idiots. Because that's it. What else were you expected to think coming off of an NLCS run?
But couldn't you play devil's advocate and say, wouldn't the general manager think the same thing? He's not batting with men on second and one out.
I mean, yes, you're right about that. But also, adding fuel and adding pieces to this roster that, I mean, it's on the GM to figure that part out to make sure it fits.
I agree with you completely.
And it didn't. And then going into a season with, I mean, frankly, the bullpen's been fine this year, right?
Yeah,
but
it's been fine.
But no depth on your bench, like none. You signed Matt Carpenter and Nelson Cruz and expect that to work. Your catching position before they got Gary Sanchez was a freaking joke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, let's be real here. You got lucky with Gary.
Yep,
and
they did
100%. And I said this after 2021. Like that was the last straw. You couldn't fuck up again. That was it.
So they just had to go to the NLCS every year?
No. They had to be competing for not only championships, but divisions and getting in the postseason for the next at least 5 years. Like
they had to compete for World Series for 5 consecutive years after 2021. That's going to be more than anyone else in baseball is competing, other than Houston.
I said playoffs or divisions and then championships. You have to make that progression. And every year has to be a team always competing and always winning and going on a run here. This was the decade of the Padres, John, from Peter Seidler himself.
But you and I know it's not that simple. I mean, the Yankees spend as much as anyone. The Yankees are as invested as anyone. Look at where they are. You look at where the Red Sox have been the last 5 years. It's not to where they expect to be.
You don't think it's quiet in New York towards the Yankees right now?
I know it isn't, but I'm saying you think, I mean, there is a lot of pressure on Brian Cashman, but I mean, is Brian Cashman going to be replaced based on a team that finishes in last place in the AL East? Again, it's different. He's got a track record.
2021, how much of a failure that was going into the offseason. Okay. The article by The Athletic and Dennis pretty much, ripping away all the curtains around from this organization and telling you how bad it is. And then to go forward
making the National League Championship Series last year. You can't pretend like that doesn't happen.
I'm not pretending like it didn't happen.
You can't say oh my gosh, they ripped the curtains off the franchise in 2021 to show how bad it was, and then the next year they're in the NLCS. So how bad was it?
Well, it reared its head just a year after.
Okay, but I mean, I think you and I. The funny thing is, everything you're saying is that he's got to go, but I think you and I both agree he's probably not going anywhere.
Right, but that doesn't mean that I can't think and have my opinion on what I want them to do. I agree with you. They're gonna keep Preller. It's just gonna happen because this dude's Teflon.
Yeah, I don't think he's as bad of a GM as he's been made out to be based on the transgressions of this year. Now, I think he's failed this year. Don't get me wrong. I think he has failed this year. I don't think he's the worst GM or a bottom 5 GM in baseball. I really don't. I think most people, and I've heard of this from tons of people that cover baseball for a living, that would put him closer to the certainly top half than bottom half, and certainly middle third. I don't think most people believe AJ Preller's a bottom 10 GM in baseball that cover the sport for a living. And we're close to it.
You don't think he's a bottom 10 GM in baseball?
What's that?
You don't think he's a bottom 10 GM in baseball?
No, I think he's a middle third GM. Just like I think Bob Melvin's kind of a middle third manager. And that's why you end up as sometimes the 20th best team and other times the 10th best team. That's what I think.
Yeah. I think, just his resume overall is, easily a fireable offense. And how it's not,
No, it's
and
fair.
how it's turned into him being dubbed excellence. Like that quote, John, is never going to leave this guy. Ever.
Never going to leave Peter. That's fair, but that's fine. That's on Peter. That's a whole nother conversation.
No, it's not. It's never leaving AJ, whether he likes it or not.
Well, but that's on Peter.
I know it's on Peter.
AJ didn't say it about himself.
I know he didn't, but that's the thing is that line of AJ Preller is excellence. As long as he is remaining as the general manager and president of baseball operations, whether it's his doing or not, and it wasn't, okay, he didn't dub himself that. You're right, but that title of excellence is always going to be attached to AJ Preller, and when he fails again, that's going to be even worse.
I think it's going to always be attached to Peter Seidler, because when he makes the move, just like when AJ Preller said, hey, Jace Tingler's going to be a 10-year manager, and he got rid of him. Guess who that's a bad reflection on? AJ Preller, not Jace Tingler.
But he didn't. But he's saying that's totally different. When you say someone's excellence to a guy's, I want him to hear 10 years. Like, I just think the title of excellence towards AJ Preller from Peter Seidler, like that's AJ Preller, AJ Mr. Excellence Preller. That's who he's known. It's gonna be known as. And when you fail this miserably, it looks horrible.
Yeah, I think it looks really bad on Seidler to say that. Sam, thank you. He says, not even the worst Padres teams of all time made me wish this season was over like this team has. This team deserves a special kind of hat. I mean, this team's been awful. This team has been very bad. There's no question about it. I'm not disagreeing with that. This team has been really bad. The writing's been on the wall for forever. I said that AJ Preller should have sold at the deadline repeatedly in early July because we knew what this team was. So I'll put that on AJ Preller. I don't know if that was his direction or Peter Seidler's direction. You know, they're going to draw 3 million fans. They'll even draw in September with this train wreck of a team. So the team's been bad and the season has been bad. What changes are going to come as a result of that? You know, we're going to find out. We're going to find out in about 35 days what changes are coming.
You don't think a change happens before then?
Where, at manager?
Mm-hmm. To get Flaherty some reps before they officially hire him at the end of the season?
Let's talk about that in 2 moments. Pull down the super if you wouldn't mind. I do want to thank, and we want to thank our title sponsor here on the Wrap-Up Show, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. If you support our work, if you support this channel, please support our title sponsor, located right here in San Diego, lifelong Padres fan, a great insurance agent. You can take that from us. I've got a homeowner's, earthquake, and life insurance policy through Mark. Just by switching over your insurance, he can save you $750 or more. If you ever have a claim, trust me, he will take care of you. He took care of me and my family when we had a claim last year, made everything simple and easy, saved us time and literally thousands of dollars. The website's on the screen right now. You can get a quote online for free. You can also give him a call and he'll give you quotes for free as well. He'll talk to you about the Padres, but whatever it is, auto, home, business, life, condo, renters, earthquake, and more. If it's a renewal, before you renew, call Mark. He'll save you $750 or more. If you want information on a new policy, get in contact with Mark Nimitz, the title sponsor of the Wrap-Up Show.
Yeah, all his information is always above my head. Nimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to our buddy Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
I'm actually loving this show right now. If you are here, what the hell are you doing?
What are you doing? I'm removing it.
If you are here, please subscribe. Year-round content for Padres fans, good days and bad days. Smash the like button for us. You can follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Please subscribe to our brand new John and Jim YouTube channel. By doing that and putting the word subbed in the chat, you're eligible to win these Padres friendship bracelets. Nothing says friendship like the season's over. Click, again, the link in the description down below. Subscribe to the John and Jim YouTube channel and then put subbed in the chat. You'll be eligible to win those friendship bracelets. What was your question? Do I think there'll be a change in season?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Do you?
Only if they lose. I don't know. I think there's a possibility.
No, sure, there's a possibility. I'd just be surprised. It doesn't. I don't think it accomplishes anything, and I think it puts more attention on the franchise. Like, you already had a manager picked. If you do that, if you put your interim Ryan Flaherty in there for 10 games, then hire him, and then don't interview anyone else because he's your interim. And I don't think you learn anything by having an interim manager for 10 games in September when the season's over. Joe, thank you. He says, any chance Theo joins the Padres? I'd say no. I'd say no chance in hell would be my guess.
0% chance because
it's not a good job.
Seidler, I don't think that he is. Never mind.
No, what are you going to say? Because whatever it is, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it would make sense.
On Seidler?
Yeah.
Seidler wouldn't hire Theo? This is new.
This is going to go way over your head. Remember?
I'm sure.
Not remember, but in Star Wars Episode 3, okay?
Yeah, I remember.
Emperor, as soon as he turned Anakin Skywalker to the dark side.
What are you talking about?
He told him, do what must be done.
Okay.
And have no mercy. I don't think Peter Seidler can do it. I don't think
you're just saying you don't think he gets rid of AJ, but it doesn't have to do with Theo.
I don't think he has it in him to make that move right now. No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make a move either. I think even if he made a move, I don't think he can hire Theo.
I don't think he has that instinct of I can't deal with this anymore. And we might have a good relationship, but the win-loss record on the field and how this season's gone and how this, last 3 years have been as so up and down as possible. Last 5 years, actually. I don't think Peter has it in him, man. I just don't. I don't know if he has that killer instinct.
But that to me isn't really, I agree with you potentially, but that doesn't answer the question on Theo. I think you could have no GM right now because AJ Preller leaves tomorrow. And I don't think Theo Epstein's coming because I think he looks at the jobs that are available, or he looks at this job and says, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, 200 million tied up in payroll.
But and I see in the chat, you're right. I don't think Peter has that order 66 in him where he completely makes the change that is probably necessary and the move that needs to be done. Do we all agree? I think we all would agree. If Theo was brought here as the president of baseball operations, you'd feel pretty confident to start out with. Now,
think
things could obviously change. We're not saying that
he's only the greatest executive in the history of the sport.
Right, exactly. But at that very moment, if Peter Seidler made the move to bring in Theo, right, at that moment, just like how we were at the beginning of this season, we would all think it's a good move. And I just don't see him having that killer instinct to make the move of firing Preller and hiring Theo and giving him authority over everything.
Well, here's the thing. I don't care. Even if he had the killer instinct, Theo's not coming. That's how I see it. I don't think it's a good job right now. I don't think it's the right job for Theo Epstein today. I think it's a project.
Yeah. And why is it a project?
It's a project for a zillion reasons. It's a project
I'm just saying, who orchestrated the project? Who made this thing into now a project and not a good job, as you say?
Well, a lot of it is on probably the players.
Stop.
RH, thank you. Okay, I love this super. RH, thank you. He says, okay, John, after 9 years of AJ losing well over 700 games, what does that mean? Go look at Cashman's losses. He has more.
He also has more World Series titles than AJ Preller can even sniff.
And an assortment of failures. Where are you drawing the line? How much more dysfunction and failure are you accepting from AJ? First of all, I'm not the owner, so I'd make a determination at the end of the season if I was the owner. But knowing that Peter Seidler has spoken very highly of AJ Preller and knowing that the Padres were in the NLCS last year, I don't think he goes anywhere. Now, I think last year if they weren't in the NLCS, I think last year if they didn't make the postseason, that changes the conversation. Maybe last year if they lost in the wild card round to the Mets, that changes the conversation. Truth is, the Padres have been in the NLCS how many times in their 50-something years? You tell me.
The Padres?
Yeah, how many times have the Padres been in the National League Championship Series, guys? Exactly. And that's why he'll be back.
Well,
Sergio, thank you. Sergio says they also get to pick 10 spots lower than they would since they are over that tax threshold in next year's draft. Rockstar GM. Yeah, and by the way, if you're tanking for draft picks, that's stupid because it's draft picks and they don't develop these picks anyway.
Yeah, he's never drafted a top 10 player that has turned into anything.
other than Ryan Weathers.
So who cares?
Eduardo, thank you. He says, if the Padres tear it down today, how long will it take for the Padres to be successful again? It's unterrible down, by the way. Also, I'm with Jim on firing Preller because he has traded years of talent away. He doesn't develop prospects properly. Yeah, it's fair. I don't think that it can be torn down the way I see it.
It's impossible to be torn down. You're not getting rid of Manny because you physically can't. Manny is the number. We've talked about this as far as people in this organization with power. Manny is as close to Preller as you could possibly get. Bogarts has the only way I see Bogarts going anywhere is if he literally demands a trade and they eat a shit ton of his money. I don't think that's happening. They're going to let Snell walk as they should. They're going to let Hader walk as they should.
As they should. Yep.
Frankly, unless they trade him next the trade deadline, they're gonna be forced to have Juan Soto walk as well because they chose who they're going to give this money to in the franchise, and without them succeeding at a level that they need to succeed at with a $250+ million payroll, there's no fucking chance in hell I see them offering and giving out another $500 million contract or a $500 million contract or whatever Soto would want. Like Ohtani, the Ohtani thing, stop it. Okay. If Preller goes after Ohtani this offseason, I just stop it.
He's not going to land him.
So yeah, you're right. The teardown, I don't know if it's feasible.
Look at it this way. Darvish, untradeable. Cronenworth, untradeable. Machado, no trade. Bogarts, no trade. Tatis, no trade. Yep. Soto won't be here.
You're not trading Musgrove.
Musgrove's not going anywhere, and no one's advocating for it. I'd trade you Darvish and Harpy. Ain't happening.
In a second.
I'd trade Jay Cronenworth. Ain't happening.
I would
like all these things that people would say I traded Xander Bogaerts. Ain't happening.
Yeah.
There's people that would say I trade Manny Machado. Ain't happening. Right. So that's if we're saying it's not happening, the Phillies aren't calling for Xander tomorrow. Obviously,
no one's calling for Xander after this season.
Right.
Even if he had a good season, no one's calling because you're not taking on a $280 million or whatever.
Yeah, Robert Suarez, unfortunately, off this year, nobody's calling. You know, I mean, that's just how this business works. You sign the contract. Now these players have to live up to them. But unfortunately, they're stuck a little bit here, and these guys have to bounce back in 2024. It's not like you have 40-year-olds now. You may have 40-year-olds down the road. You don't have 40-year-old players now. Nobody's going to be older than 32 in that core. Darvish, maybe.
But you know who teams were calling on?
Yeah, sure. Hader and Snell.
Yeah.
I know.
So, hey, how's G-Man Choi doing? How's Rich Hill doing?
Dude, G-Man Choi's hurt. Dude, those guys did not come here to help them win. They came here for the mirage of just sell tickets for 2 months.
You're right. Yeah.
Lipstick
on a pig. Like I said.
Yeah, they're like, let's just go along with this.
And it wasn't good lipstick either.
If we tear it down, we're going to sell less, fewer tickets. Rita, thank you. Team didn't perform. Fans did. Fans broke records. Well done, John and Jim. Thank you. Good job expressing our frustrations, identifying the team's issues, and searching for solutions, all while planning your upcoming wedding. Hi, Maria. That's funny. Thank you, Rita. Seriously. I didn't plan my wedding, although I am officiating Jim's.
Yeah. When we get to wedding day, I will not be able to.
Is Fire Preller in your vows?
Take any responsibility for how great our wedding will be. I'll be like,
who's responsible if your wedding sucks? Preller?
Oh, 100%. And yes, he will be in my wedding vows. I'll broadcast it live on YouTube if Preller is still around. Yeah, it will definitely be there.
Rita, thank you again. SJL Stevens, thank you for your membership and your super. Guys, if you're here, subscribe. If you're here, thank you for the supers. Click the $sign below the chat box. Good night's event. Padres swept in Milwaukee by the Brewers. He says, do you find any irony in the rumor that the offensive coordinator, quote unquote, of this team may become the manager? Yeah, we do. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, I mean,
if it's accurate and factual.
Yeah, Ryan Flaherty has been a part of now 2 horrific Padres seasons in franchise history in 2021 and 2023. And then he could become your next manager. I mean, dude, if that happens like every single day on the radio and on wrap-up show, I'll just
You'll just scream.
I'll just scream. In every show I'll start with Fire Preller, Fire Preller, Fire Preller.
If they hire Flaherty and he stays?
Yes.
Which means I really hope that happens.
Oh yes. That will happen.
Jeffrey, thank you again. He says, I think 2020 was AJ's biggest mistake. Traded a lot of prospects for a 60-game season. Feel like he tried rushing the window after that. He made some bad trades in 2020. I don't fault him going for it because I felt like it was kind of like there for the taking a little bit. If they had Clevenger healthy, if they had Dinelson Lamet healthy, I mean, shoot, they even won a playoff series that year. I don't know. I didn't hate him going for it at the time. That's for sure. I mean, again, it was rinky dink that season. Everyone knows it, but let's be honest, we would have taken it if they did it.
He changed on a 25-man roster like 8 players.
Yeah, 8 or 9.
And you look at what the players from that year are doing elsewhere. You got Brash and Munoz with Seattle, who are just massive pieces for them in the back end of the bullpen, leading them to now a legitimate AL West division race down the stretch here, which is going to be just incredible to watch. I mean, have you seen the Mariners like upcoming schedule for the next 2 weeks? They play Texas, they play Houston. I think they play Texas 2 series and then Houston first series. And all those teams are just like right there, like bunched up.
Yeah, they've made up like 11 and a half games in a month.
It's incredible. The Clevenger thing was a complete backfire. Ty France, I'm not saying that he's anything special, but like, you lost out on him. Getting Austin Nola for what you did was a complete Austin Nola had, I think he had like 2 moments here. Now they're good moments. He's throwing out Mookie Betts last postseason and having a 1 hit against the Phillies. That was nice, but like overall, the whole thing backfired. Thank God they had Luis Campusano now and they signed Gary Sanchez. But by the way, we're talking about next year, John, like if I'm Gary Sanchez, bro, I ain't signing a 2-year deal for something cheap. Like I'm looking for a big payday, bro. Especially from what he's done this year.
To see what he gets. I don't think he'll get more than a 2-year deal, to be honest, because he's older and he's had some bad years. And people are gonna be like, "Well, go prove it again," right? I mean,
Are you paying Gary Sanchez $15 to $20 million a year?
No, probably not, because I don't trust in it.
Well, if I'm Gary Sanchez, that's what I'd be looking for. And so
no, unfortunately, that means you might have to re-sign Austin Nola. I'm kidding. That's not happening. What you know what that means? Campusano and Salas as a 14-year-old or whatever to start the year.
Right.
All right, let me get back to RH. We do need to tell you about our sponsors here on the wrap-up show in a moment as well. RH, thank you again. It says Padres are losing $60 million in TV money next year and beyond. There's no plan to replace $60 million. Huge problem. This is why AJ stalled. I don't think this is accurate. So they got $60 million a year from Bally's. Major League Baseball this year is guaranteeing those clubs 80% of TV revenue. This isn't going to just go poof up in thin air. So if they're getting 80% this year of that $60 million, that's a loss of 12. Not ideal, but I don't think the 60 is going to zero because Bally Sports San Diego doesn't exist. I don't know what's going to happen in 2024. I have no idea, but this is why I don't even understand that. This is why AJ stalled.
Yeah, I will say though, the amount of money that they will be losing from the TV revenue ain't just nothing. Like it's something. It matters. It's not just it's not just this thing that's like, who cares? Like, no, it matters. I don't know how much it matters to this organization. I don't know how impactful it's going to be towards how the roster will look next year. But I think it's,
well,
it's definitely been talked about.
Yeah, I mean, the math on it is, again, so everyone's clear, they didn't lose $60 million this year. They lost at most $12 million because they got 80% of $60 million from Major League Baseball.
And I think we can agree that no matter what happened this year, this year was going to be in the red, right?
They could have won the World Series. We were told, and they were losing serious money. That's what we were told.
Right. So,
yeah,
what does what does a disaster season do for you? If winning the World Series, they were going to still be in the red. What does this do?
I don't think it's worse because they've sold out 60-something games.
I'm going to be so curious to see how the ballpark looks on non-giveaway nights for the rest of the year.
It's not going to be that many. How many home games they have, and how many are non-weekend? 6 games? 7 games? Monday through Thursday, 8 games, maybe?
There's only one day in there. Okay, you got the Giants and Philly coming up.
Yeah.
And you got Colorado and St. Louis.
Maybe the Colorado series if it's not a weekend.
Oh, it's not a weekend. It's Monday.
Okay,
Tuesday,
so that'll be the one where you're going to see 20,000 people maybe in there, between 20 and 30. Potentially. A couple days would be my guess.
You'll see a sizable amount of Giants fans this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. It's a weekend. You'll see a sizable amount of Padres fans. These tickets are sold.
You'll see
a lot of these tickets are sold.
Yeah.
They'll have big crowd. They're not going to have to. There's not going to be one game with 17,000 people there. Not going to be one. Tom, thank you. He says, would you all trade Soto this offseason? One of the only guys you could move. You see, I don't like the idea of moving him just because I want to believe in 2024. I mean, I'll move him in July if it's the same July as 2023. I just don't like moving him in December because, what does that say about my 2024 chances?
Yeah, I have this belief that Juan Soto is going to put up the type of season that we all expect him to do. And
that's what we said this year.
I for as talented as he is and for as young as he is, it's hard for me to envision the 2.5 years here in a Padres uniform to be just like this mediocre. I mean, this year's not just mediocre. It's a good season for a lot of players, but for Juan Soto standards, we have to agree it's not a good season.
He's on hard times right now.
And he has had just a horrific August. I mean, just a god-awful August. I want to believe that a Juan Soto on your team makes you better, but it's hard to really put that argument forward when you look at the record of this team with Juan Soto on it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point too. It's hard to do that sometimes, but I agree. I mean, it obviously hasn't been what they expected. He's got 693 OPS in August. I mean, that's crazy. He had a 959 in July. He had a 959 in July. He has a 693 in August. I mean, that's wheels completely falling. And this isn't August 5th. I mean, month's about to end. Okay, let's get back to the Supers in a moment. Do want to remind our viewers about our partners here on the Wrap-Up Show, including our loyal supporters at Aura. Their co-founder, Will, is a San Diegan and a huge Padres fan. The website for Aura is on screen right now. You can click the link in the description down below as well. All of their products are plant-based nutritional products, whether it's their probiotic, which I've been taking every day for like a year and a half or more for digestion, heart health, mental health, and more, or if it's their pre-workout supplements, or if it's their proteins for after workouts, or omega-3 oils if you take fish oils, or their sleep pills or immunity pills, whatever it is. They have so many products, dozens of them. Check them out right now by clicking the link in the description down below or by going to ora.organic. They've got something for you. If you're looking to get healthier, if you want to support this channel, if you want to support a local business, make sure to check them out. Again, whether it's for yourself, your family, your friends, ora.organic.
Yeah, go there right now if you want to live a healthy lifestyle. If you want to start taking some supplements, but you don't know where to start, Aura is the best place for you to go. All of their supplements are organic and plant-based. Go check them out. They have everything you need, from probiotics to pre-workouts to protein powders. They have it all. Fish oils. Go there right now, www.ora.organic. Pick up some stuff and try it out, and you'll thank us later.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Let's get back to the chat. Again, if you're here, subscribe. Also, if you're here, subscribe to our brand new John and Jim channel. And when you do that, put subbed in the chat. You'll be eligible to win those FOCO bracelets, friendship bracelets. Andrew, thank you for the super chat, the super sticker. Do appreciate that. Doesn't
Thanks,
show
Andrew.
up in our software, but thank you, Andrew, for your support. Richard, thank you again. He makes it clear he's a Dodger fan. I enjoy your show and the baseball content. That's why I ensure my chats are respectful and support the channel. Respect for you both. That's very kind.
Thanks, Richard.
Richard, we do appreciate that. So thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us here tonight. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, and the crazy part is, John, like, it's August 27th.
Oh, there's so much time. I mean, there's so much time. And it can always get worse.
Oh, dude.
There's a lot of time to get a lot worse.
Yeah. You think it's bad now?
Yeah, right, what if they just wait 23?
Yeah, which they did in 2019 and 2021 and so 2023 is right, you know.
Now Melvin said that wasn't going to happen, but what's happened is that's happened since he said it.
They've quit. They're done. It's over. There's no more life. Like you said to start the show, they have been taken off life support. Their body is laying lifeless in the emergency room in St. Louis. It's being transported around the country, and time of death was today
2:12 Pacific.
2:12 Pacific. The official funeral will be on October 2nd.
Yes.
The last day of the year
is October 1st. So yes.
So October 2nd will be our funeral show. We'll probably have like 2 or 3 more before then.
No, you think more than that?
Yeah, maybe 4 or 5. I mean, tonight was a funeral show. So yeah, this thing, it sucks. It sucks. I mean, dude, there's so many games here and they mean nothing at all.
Well, here's, if there's something interesting that's going to be kind of unique to follow, is Blake Snell's Cy Young pursuit for this really bad team. He's facing Adam Wainwright, who's got a 9 ERA this year.
If they don't,
I'm not kidding.
Tomorrow, if they don't hit Adam Wainwright tomorrow, bro,
then maybe they've quit.
Then yeah. Holy
but
shit.
Like, I mean, Snell's going to make another like 6 starts. You know, if Snell keeps doing this, it'll really be interesting to see what happens in terms of like, are you really going to give a Cy Young to a Padre this year? It's possible. I don't think he's going to get the benefit of the doubt, would be my guess.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
He's pitched like he could be the Cy Young Award winner, and that's really the only like,
you know what's crazy?
Drama.
You know what's crazy right now is that, hold on. If I'm looking at the National League, dude, give me one other person in the National League as far as the Cy Young race goes that is head and shoulders above everyone else.
Well, they're not, but that's why I don't know if he gets the benefit of the doubt, right? Because you got Strider, who I know has high walk totals, but he's on Atlanta.
And he has 200. He's going to have 300 strikeouts on the year.
Okay, so he's likely the front runner. Who else is in there? There's one other guy.
You have Zach Gallen.
Yeah.
Who is 14-5 with a 3.11. I mean, he could have easily an ERA in the 2s.
My guess is those guys get the benefit of the doubt over Snell based on the season.
Yes, because you also have 2 guys in Gallen and Strider who actually pitch more than 5 innings, and they're going to get their innings limit or their inning count to around 200. Blake Snell won't. And if I'm looking at anybody else in the National League right now besides Strider and Zach Gallen, I mean, if you want to go Justin Steele is a very strong candidate as well. He's second in the league in ERA. He's 14-3, 133 strikeouts with a 1.17 whip. Like, I would say Justin Steele easily is up there as well. So you got 4 dudes. I mean, you want to go Merrill Kelly too? 10-5 with a 2.97 with a 1.13 whip. Yeah,
Snell's. I mean, he's got work to do. Is the point?
He would need to be like completely lights out, I think, in September.
Yeah,
to have a chance at this, because the guys I just named off there are, I would say, have a better chance right now than Blake Snell.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
he's throwing it well. I mean, Snell since like May 1st he's right there. Stephen, thank you for the super. He says, just remember tomorrow's do or die, must win. Not really. At this point, it's like,
how many times have they died this year?
It's been a lot, but now it's like,
I mean, just.
I mean, you're swinging at coolers a month too late, to be honest.
I mean, at least it's some emotion. I don't like the optics of it. It's going to be used against him and against his team. Like, if you're going to go,
yeah, I didn't mind it either, but it's like it's a little too late and a
if
little
you're going
too
to go
little.
beat up a cooler, go do it in the clubhouse. Like, I mean, I'm not going to like bitch a lot about it. But I will say the optics of it and the look of it for this team this year, like, it's a bad look.
Yeah, it just looks like they have no answers, so they're swinging, baseball bats to find answers.
It's not a great look, and it makes it even worse that that's Manny, the guy that everyone hates, the guy that not every Padres fan, but I mean is like outside of Padres fans, everyone hates, and to have it be him doing that with where they are in the season, how their season is completely over. Yeah, bad optics.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know. I think nothing of it. In fact, I actually am happy he did it because it gave us something to mention for 2 minutes. Yeah, I don't think it's something that's going to like hang over Machado. RH, thank you again. He says, John, you're wrong. As of next year, the $60 million is gone. No, it's not. Send me the article that says that. This has been well documented. There's no plan in place to replace that loss. MLB is not covering next year. That's not accurate. So the players aren't going to get paid next year because Bally Sports is no longer in Major League Baseball. Send me the article. Padres wrap-up show at gmail.com. Thank you, RH. HBVV says next FanFest won't top last one. Will should have stayed. Can you imagine next year's FanFest? That's just going to be kind of weird. What are they going to say? Like, hey, we're going to win 80 games. It's going to be like the Dick Monfort FanFest.
Are they going to have what they should do? Here's my idea for FanFest next year. Because instead of getting apologies this season so far, you're getting ticket renewal prices going up. You should at FanFest next year, just everybody on stage, just, we're sorry. Here's an autograph for every single person that goes to FanFest.
Here's 100,000 autographs.
Seriously, like, you cap it at like 15,000, 20, like everybody gets whatever they want. We are sorry for this bullshit season. Like, we're sorry. We're sorry. That's all I want to hear. That's all you should be saying next. I don't want to hear no talk. I don't want to hear no just right. You're sorry, because the fans are the only people that showed up this year that brought it, unlike the team.
Right. Yeah, they didn't bring it, the team, but the fans did. You're 100% right. I agree. Thank you, Styles Clash 619. Says predictions for Padres offseason moves. I'm not even there yet. My mind is not even close to that. Yeah, they got big. I mean, they got a lot. I mean, there's a lot to consider. Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo, Juan Soto.
Do you want to give Wacha that option for, I think it was like 15 or 16 million?
I would probably say yes, since he's been like elite.
It's risky, but okay. I mean, you got nothing else. You need pitching.
They have more than they do. I mean, they have Joe Musgrove. They have Yu Darvish. They could have Seth Lugo. They could have Michael Wacha. It's not like they have to. I mean, that's not a terrible place to start, I wouldn't think, for next year in the rotation.
I have a lot of questions about Yu Darvish going forward. A lot.
Yeah, I'd rather give Wacha $15 million for 1 year than Yu Darvish $100 for the next 6.
Well, it's too bad because they already did it.
I agree, but I think Wacha. I'd be surprised if Wacha wasn't back, to be honest with you.
Do you think he could get more, though, is the question.
Do I think he could get more?
After this year, could he get a longer term deal somewhere else for more money?
And what's the contract terms? Is this mutual or is this a team option? If it's a team option, it doesn't matter if you get more. It is a mutual, so he can opt out.
Yeah.
Now, if he opts in, it's a club option for 2025. They got some really unique contracts. That I will say.
They had to.
Yeah.
Because the only way these guys were signing is if they made these contracts extremely complicated because of the money that has been shipped out to the big guys on the team. You needed to make it very, like, the Martinez deal. I still don't. I mean, the Nick Martinez deal is just like, what the fuck?
Right. It just doesn't make any sense, right?
It's just like, wait, so if you do this,
yeah.
I mean, shit. And does anybody have any faith in Nick Martinez if he became a starter next year? Like, I don't.
If the team option declined 3, wait. So this is interesting. If YouTube is accurate, so the team could pick up both years for 32, or it's mutual for one. He could pick up 2 years for 32.
So 16. Oh, man.
If team option decline, 3 years of player options.
So this is how I view this right now. Is this is a classic, and I'll be wrong, right? This is a classic, like, you get a great year from Waka, and then you fuck it up by giving him a bunch of money instead of just cutting your losses and letting him go and saying, thank you for your time here. It worked out this year, but, you know,
what other options do you have? Like, isn't it better to, like, what you have as opposed to what you don't? Are you going to go try to what are you going to do? Don't you have to replace it either way?
Yeah, that's where they're stuck. Like, I don't know if I would give Waka the 2 years for 32. I don't know if I would.
I mean, 16 for one is like nothing, dude. That's like the going rate for any starting pitcher in baseball. Like Mike Clevenger's getting like 10 million. Sean Manaea is getting like 11 million. Mm-hmm. Every serviceable starter gets 15 million.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm looking at Waka's last 5 seasons, and it's like, if this is his best year, you might want to look at that and say, you're probably not going to get it better than that. You're probably not getting better from Michael Wacha than this year.
So you're anti-Wacha.
I'm not anti-Wacha. I'm just trying to think smart here.
Well, smart is you're going to have to pitch someone every 5th day. And I saw what he did this year, pitching every 5th day. And so it was well worth $16 million.
There's nothing better out there. I mean, I haven't even looked at the free agent classes. There's nothing better out there than Michael Wacha.
Well, Shohei Ohtani doesn't have an elbow, but I'm sure there is.
That's the point. Is like, you
might want. Guess what? Guess who's better than him? Blake Snell is going to get $200 million.
And I wouldn't even fucking talk to Blake Snell about a contract.
That's what I'm saying, though. Yeah, of course there's going to be better pitchers than Michael Wacha, and they're going to get paid like they're better pitchers than Michael Wacha. Sam, thank you. It says, finding out what went wrong after season's end will be more exciting than this season was. Yeah, if we ever do. We need that expose again.
I mean, it's taken years, and by years, I mean only 2, to like really start understanding what happened in 2021. And frankly, I still don't even really understand. I just know that there's a bunch of problems in that clubhouse. There were coaches in there backstabbing each other, going behind each other's backs. There were a complete disconnect from the players to the manager of the team, because the manager of the team was boys with Preller. You had players wearing eyewash shirts because of the coaches. You got the team quitting at the end of the year when they completely got out of it. You got fights in the dugout between Manny and Tatis.
And you were cool with the manager in 2021 going, right?
Tingler? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like,
it's different.
Yeah. Do you see any like player wearing eyewash shirts because the coaches in there backstab each other?
I see players all year long commenting on like, we don't know what's wrong. They're literally saying that out loud. We have players saying they quit. We have players hitting coolers. If this was done in a first-time manager, everyone would be calling for that manager.
I agree. I just look at this year. That year was a failure from every aspect. This is a failure from every aspect. But if you're telling me like, who do I put the most blame on? I put the most blame on the players and AJ Preller.
No, I agree. But there's blame to our starting point up and down.
Yeah. And it to me, Melvin, if he gets fired, when he gets fired,
he may not get fired. He
is a
may
complete
not.
Scapegoat situation.
He may not. He might walk. I mean, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's back. I mean, it seems like it's unlikely he's back. And I'm not saying he's the first place I'd turn either. It's just like, you look at what's happening here, and they're 6-14 in their last 20 games. And we're like, this isn't going to be 2019 or 2021. And it's following that same path, I'm looking at the chat. Okay, we do need to remind our viewers about our partnership with our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. UnderdogFantasy.com is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. By the way, NFL season, Jim, I don't know if you realize this, ever since your Trey Lance take, but the NFL is going to start in like a week.
What?
And they have NFL drafts going on right now. You can win $15 million, parts of $15 million in prizes at Underdog Fantasy, the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Once you draft, and you can auto draft, they take care of everything else. There are no waivers. There are no trades. They set your lineup. They take care of the rest. Best and easiest place to play. If you use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, you will get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Again, promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, you will get a 100% deposit match up to $100. They have daily drafts in Major League Baseball going on for tomorrow's games only, starting at just $3 per game. And then they have the pick'ems going on across all sports every single day, which includes Major League Baseball, which means you can play higher, lower pick'ems for tomorrow's action, including Padres, Cardinals. Let's see what they have for tomorrow's Padres, Cardinals.
All lower for the Padres.
Other than Snell. Are you going to take 5 2/3 from Blake Snell tomorrow or no?
No.
Okay, you want lower?
I will. I'll say
okay, now you said higher.
Who cares?
Higher or lower than 4 hits allowed?
Higher.
Okay. Now I got to find some. Wainwright, higher than 3 strikeouts. Man, that's how bad a year he's had.
Let's go higher.
Higher than 3 strikeouts. Then let's pick something from another game as we have to. I'll pick. Do you feel like Connor Joe is going to have higher than a half single tomorrow for the Pirates against the Royals?
I have a lot of faith in Connor Joe.
I'll say Ronald Acuna Jr. doesn't strike out tomorrow. Anyway, if that hits, 20 pays 120. Okay, you can insure it and you can still win. You only have to get 2 out of 3 correct. You can insure it. You can still win. UnderdogFantasy.com. Use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. All right, Jim, pick someone that said the word subbed in the chat. Okay,
I know, there's a million.
And again, if you haven't done it as of yet, please subscribe to our brand new channel, John and Jim. Click the link in the description down below. We appreciate you. Daily Padres content, 3 hours a day.
I'm just looking for the first sub I see.
Very random.
I'm going through like 1,000 different.
I like it.
Comments here. Too bad we don't have a better way to doing this, but drama. You know what? Who cares? Dun 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 dun. Who's gonna win? Dun 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 dun. Who's gonna win?
We should have. We're gonna stay here all night and come tomorrow morning.
I mean, dude.
What's the dude?
I'm going through like 1,000 comments. Unsubbed. I mean, dude.
5.
I can't
4,
find anything.
3, 2, 1. Cal 619 guy, congratulations. You have won these. Email Padres wrap-up show at gmail.com with your address. We will get those out to you.
Do you have that taken
care of? Congratulations, Cal 619 guy. What's that?
I was literally, I'm only at 9:40. I'm at 9:40. I was at 9:45.
You were literally like going to take a decade.
Yeah, because I couldn't get to all. Never mind.
All good. Guys, join us tomorrow on the radio beginning at 3 p.m. Our YouTube stream will begin, John and Jim, at 3:30 tomorrow, not at 3 p.m.
Or will it?
What do you mean? We can do it at the same time as this NBC Sports Draft thing?
I think we can.
You told me that was like impossible.
No, I didn't say it was impossible. I was just looking out. But you know what? Looking out for us now. So I'm pretty sure we can do both.
I like where your head's at. I think we can. Why couldn't we?
Do both.
Yeah,
we would have like 75 cameras on, but like we can do it.
Who cares? Even if we didn't use our little cameras, dude, we could just use our laptop cameras.
No, we can use our little camera still.
Okay. I like it. Let's do it. Why not?
We're doing it 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Jim will change his tune by 3 p.m. He's going to call for a Preller extension. 3 o'clock tomorrow. John and Jim, San Diego Sports.
For what? Like,
and I'm going to say get rid of him before the start of the Cardinals game tomorrow. So join us.
Completely switch.
Complete flip
scripts. Yeah.
Tomorrow. Join us again. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to our brand new John and Jim channel. Smash the like button for us. You can follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell ST. Support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor. Click the link in the description down below if you have any insurance needs. ORA.organic if you're looking to get healthier. Click the link in the description down below. Underdog Fantasy, again, a 100% deposit match up to $100 by using promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. You can click that link in the description down below. 2024 is coming. We'll be back with you tomorrow night following Padres Cardinals game 1. It can't get worse, can it?
Yes.
Stay tuned. We will see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. Then tomorrow night right here.